chicks came in the mail today, and I'm both excited, and if I can be totally honest, I'm dreading it a little bit too, because there's so much that can go wrong. Now, I've lost animals before, and it's heartbreaking. I'd love to help you through it, and maybe by watching this, you can avoid some of the pitfalls that come along with raising meat birds. These chicks can be very delicate, and it's so easy to lose some, even if you do everything right. To start, when you get them, they're going to want a certain temperature. Now, they're hatched out between 94 and 104 degrees, and they usually come to us 2 or 3 days old, so they're still wanting a warm environment. So we start out at 95 degrees, and we drop it 5 degrees every week until we don't need to have a heat lamp or a warming plate in the brooder anymore. And on the opposite side of that, when they feather out and they become close to being mature, they don't like so much heat. And as we move them around the field in a tractor, we need to be very careful that they aren't getting overheated, that they have airflow, that they have fresh water, and at times we might need to even put some ice bottles in there so that they don't overheat. Another thing to worry about is predators. We can't just let birds free range on our property because of raccoons, fox, our own dogs, and then we've got birds of prey that will come over and swoop down and snatch some of our birds. We've had problems with owls and hawks too. So we have to make sure that our chicks are in a safe environment and that they're closed up every night. Now, I don't know if you're going to have this problem, but I should point out it's very easy to lose all of your chickens on one bad day. Another thing I want to point out is these birds eat a lot. We're planning on feeding them 15 to 20 pounds per bird. Now, we're going to have a neighbor mix up a whole batch of feed at once and hopefully save a little bit of money that way. These chicks are going to need some high protein starter feed for the first couple of weeks. And even though they're small, they'll still go through a couple of bags before we switch them over to the grower feed. So we'll buy the first few bags at the feed store, and then we'll switch them over to grower feed, which we'll have made on our neighbor's farm, and hopefully save a few bucks that way. But we are planning on spending probably $10 per bird just to feed them. That doesn't include the cost of the chicks, or any of their feeders, waters, or our time and labor. Now, I wouldn't be telling the whole truth if I didn't talk about this last part. What goes in must come out. And these birds poop a lot. Now, we use pine shavings in their brooders, which is just a horse tank or a water tank that we've purchased from the feed store. It keeps them dry, it's very absorbent, and it's easier to clean up. And when the birds were 2 weeks old and ready to move out of the brooders, we put them in a confined space, a much larger space. But again, we used pine shavings and then cleaned that up periodically so that the birds had a clean environment. This year, we're going to try using chicken tractors, which are just containment devices that you move around your field every day so that they're on a fresh patch of grass. By doing that, we'll be able to take advantage of the high nitrogen that's in the chicken poop. It'll help to fertilize our field and improve our soil. After hearing everything that can go wrong, you're probably wondering, why am I even bothering to get chicks? And that's because it's the best chicken you'll ever have. Now, I've been gardening for many years, and there's one thing that I can tell you for sure, and that is there's very little that I can produce from beginning to end in just 8 weeks. I might be able to grow some radishes or lettuce or maybe even a zucchini or two. But pound for pound, dollar for dollar, the best use of my money and my time is, without a doubt, growing meat birds. Now, I've got a question for you. When you have someone comment that your chicken is the best chicken they've ever tasted, are you going to tell them? Are you going to tell them it's because you raised those birds yourself? Or are you going to let them think that you're just a good cook? Comment down below. Now, I hope I haven't discouraged you about giving you the honest truth about raising meat birds, because in my opinion, it really is worth it. Now, if you're new to raising chickens and plan on purchasing some of the equipment, I'll put some links in the description of the things that we use. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Oh, and one more thing. I hope to see you again soon. Again, thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed, watch this next.